Hey, what is up, Internet? Kyle here, Slapshot Toys, doing another Hot Toys action figure review. I know I don't do any for like 3 months, and then all of a sudden I'm doing 2 in 3 days. But had another Hot Toys show up, so I thought I'd do another review. And once again, this is from Infinity War, and it is Captain America. Now, this is the movie promo edition, which comes with a couple different accessories as opposed to the standard version of the figure, which is only available through Sideshow Collectibles. That is where I did pre-order this figure. At the time of this recording, both the movie promo and the standard version of this figure are still available for pre-order. So if you have any interest in it, I have 2 links in the description below. That way you can go ahead and actually pre-order one for yourself. So I can't wait to take a look at this guy. So let's not delay it any further. To the light box. Oh, and you know what? It's like, what? A little bit under 2 weeks for Christmas. Cue the Christmas music. And here's Captain America out of the packaging. And I'll be 100% honest with you. I was getting really nervous about this figure only because I just got Iron Spider like 2 days ago, and that figure was flat out amazing. And I was a little bit worried that this suit was going to be too much like the Civil War Captain America, and it wasn't really going to stand out in my collection. I'm happy to report that my fears were 100% wrong, and I absolutely love this figure. There's so much that just makes this figure stand out and just really is an amazing Captain America piece, so I'm super glad that I did pick it up. There are a few things that I'm not crazy about, and I'll get into those in the detailed review. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that Cap does come with. Now, right off the bat, this Captain America figure does not come with a whole lot of accessories, but the accessories we are given are really cool. So first thing we're going to take a look at is going to be the base. Now, this is the exact same base we've been getting with all the Avengers Infinity War figures. Has a really nice kind of Avengers A right there with that nice galaxy scene right there in the background. I think that looks really cool. Get the Avengers Infinity War logo right there. It does say Captain America here on the front, and if you watch my Iron Spider review, you know I'm not a big fan of that because I like the engraved plaques, but unfortunately this one is just kind of painted there on the front as well. And then you do have the adjustable cradle right there to hold the figure. Now, we are given 3 full sets of hands with this Captain America. We're given these 2 closed fists, these 2 weapon holding hands, these 2 pretty much open hands, and then we're given 2 kind of accessory hands, one pointing and then one fully kind of grasping open. And these things, kind of taking a look here at the fully open grasping one, are detailed out beautifully. You get all this stitch work here on the back of the gloves. You get that real nice weathering effect there throughout the leather. Just looks so good. You get the knuckles there with the nice flesh tone. The nails and everything are sculpted beautifully. You get some nice little creases there in the fingers. I mean, this is just gorgeous the way it's all sculpted out. I mean, all those details with all the stitching and everything just looks absolutely fantastic. Coming up here to the buckles and everything on the wrists, once again, all that stitch work. All that paint just looks so clean, so good. Now, the only issue I am seeing, because if you can see here, there's a peg hole there at the very bottom. I am having a little bit of issue. It's not as hard as it was with Civil War Captain America because the suit only comes halfway down the arm, but it is a little bit cumbersome trying to get that peg hole to actually line up with the joint and to be able to change these out. So keep that in mind. It is a little bit cumbersome when trying to change these hands out. The next thing we are given are the Wakanda shields that Cap uses in the film. And these things, I think like they're the Iron Spider legs of this figure, and they really make this figure pop. And these things are sculpted and painted absolutely beautifully. As you can see here, you just get some amazing grays. You get some nice weathering effects all throughout it. Just looks absolutely gorgeous. And then the way that these actually do connect is these weapon holding hands. You just slide those right through here on the little grip, and you just slide the arm through right there. Even this backside looks really nice with all the detailing and everything that they put into it. Just looks really, really nice. And then these are movable, so in the movie, Cap can kind of expand them. So they do have 3 points where they actually move, so you can actually pull out this section, and then the 2 sides kind of fan out to give you the fully extended shield, which I think looks fantastic, and just, like I said, really makes this figure pop just with all those silvers, grays, and the weathering effects. Just looks so cool. And then the last weapon we are given is Proxima Midnight's spear that she throws in the train sequence that Cap actually catches the first time we see Cap in Infinity War. And this thing is huge. As you can see here, I mean, this is a this is a massive weapon, but it is detailed gorgeously. It has this fantastic metallic paint job to it. It's got some really nice weathering effect all throughout it. I mean, just look at this thing, the way it's all sculpted out with all the line work, and I mean, the paint just looks wonderful. This is one of the coolest weapons I think I've seen Hot Toys do, and it's so freaking big. Here we have like a nice translucent blue little kind of tube right there on the back end of it. I mean, it just looks so awesome. Yeah, this is one easy pose you can get out of this figure with Cap catching this. That's really film accurate, and I absolutely love it. So these are the accessories that you get with the standard version of the figure. Now, I did order the movie promo edition of this Captain America, which does come with a couple different accessories. The first being this dioramic base with an outrider, and you get this kind of paper, I don't know, like little base cover here that will actually just sit on top of the base. So we move this here. It's just this kind of flimsy, almost kind of plastic material. But it does have like a Wakanda kind of battlefield from that final battle in Infinity War. So it looks pretty cool. And you just slide that over top, and then we are given this outrider kind of dead soldier. And this thing is sculpted beautifully. You get a ton of detail in it. I mean, just look there in like the mouth, the like teeth and everything. Just gorgeous paint apps. Has a nice shine to it from they kind of looked pretty slimy in the movie, and it definitely shows up. I mean, just all this gold paint work, I mean, just looks absolutely gorgeous. You get like all the spine and almost like an exoskeleton on the back of him. Just looks amazing. But yeah, just a ton of detail here. And then there's actually just a little spot right here that it just sits against the corner right here, and then you just kind of drape the arm off to the side. And there's your dioramic base. And then the second item we are given is the Corvus Glaive giant battle axe spear thing. What exactly you call this weapon. But I think this is the thing that makes this edition absolutely worth it. This is gorgeous. I mean, just all the detailing out throughout the blades. I mean, you just get so much line work. The paint apps are amazing, and this thing is massive. I really kind of hope they make a figure of him, because I think that would be unbelievable. But this thing, I mean, just having it with Captain America just looks amazing. This definitely in my mind makes the price of the promo edition definitely worth it. This is one fantastic accessory to have. All right, now taking a closer look at the figure himself. Now, this head sculpt I really like. I don't love it. There are times where I think it looks a heck of a lot like Chris Evans, and then there are times where I kind of lose it a little bit. So I think it's a decent head sculpt. I don't think it's their best one that they've ever done, but I definitely think it serves its purpose as a good representation of Cap from Infinity War. But I mean, the detailing, it looks amazing. You get like all those wrinkles there on the forehead. The aging on the skin looks wonderful. Eyes and nose look amazing. The beard, I think, is what gets me every time. I mean, just all those individual strands. Everything just sculpted out looks wonderful. And then I love the hair. Like, I'm a sucker for Hot Toys, the way they do hair. They just all the strands sculpted out, like all the paint apps and everything just look wonderful. And this one with Cap with his long hair is absolutely no exception. One little kind of weird thing is like this top part is kind of pasted, or like not pasted, but glued on. So you can see some of the seams there. So just be aware of that is visible. I mean, I don't know how much you're really going to be looking at the back of the figure, but it definitely is there. So just a word of warning. Coming down here to the suit, this is the thing that I was worried about, it being too much like the Civil War cap, and I couldn't be wrong. First off, I love this rubber texture that they put on it. I think it looks fantastic. It reminds me of the tech suit from Spider-Man Homecoming. It just looks gorgeous. All the detail here. I love this battle damage. So you have these rips and you see the kind of armor plating there underneath, and it just looks wonderful. I could not believe when I got this out just how much detail this has. You get like the little straps there for the shield, or what used to hold the shield there around his shoulders, look amazing. Those buckles look awesome. But yeah, I cannot get over this chest piece and these arms and just the texture that they use. I absolutely love it. Coming down here to the abdomen, pretty much the same thing we got with Civil War, just a lot dirtier, but looks really, really cool. A little bit more of a darker kind of burgundy more than a red, but absolutely love it. Shoulder pads look wonderful. You get this nice like rubber along this texture detail. Looks really, really good. Come down here to the arms, so you do get the skin kind of showing there. Now, this is just plastic. This is not the kind of rubbery foam that they use for the Thor figures, which is nice because it won't wear as much. Coming here to the back, you get these amazing elbow pads. I love them. Back looks pretty much the exact same as the Civil War cap, just with a little bit texture detail to it. You get another elbow pad right there. You get the little shield holder. That looks wonderful. Some good weathering effects on that. Belt looks fantastic. Yeah, just everything about this figure. I love this suit. It looks wonderful. Belt there in the front, buckles, couple pouches. Legs, same thing. You get this really nice texture. You get that burgundy stripe throughout. Get a little bit of padding in there just to kind of make it a little bit more pronounced. Looks really good. Get some kind of cargo pockets right there. Knees look awesome. Love those knee pads. Come down to the boots, and I think these are pretty much the exact same boots we get with Civil War, but some really nice stitch work and some nice tread down there at the bottom. And now it's time to get to the unfortunate part, and that is the issues with this figure, and that is articulation. As much as I love the material on this suit, it does not give at all. So the articulation on this guy is pretty lacking, just to be honest. But what you do get is, so head does rotate side to side. Unfortunately, he can't hardly look up at all. I'm really putting a lot of effort into that. And that is all because this suit, like I said, does not give. So you really can't push it back. You can look forward a fairly good amount, but not the best motion going back. So that sucks a little bit. Now the arms, once again, this material just doesn't give. So that's about as far as you're going to get on the arms. I feel like the material is very durable. It just doesn't give. So you can't even go 90 degrees out to his arms. Now, as far as moving the arms forward, I'm getting about that far, and I'm getting a lot of pulling back here. So I definitely want to push it any further. But so you can go about that far going forward, going back, about the same. So not a whole lot of motion, and once again, I'm getting a lot of pulling right there. There is a cut up here at the biceps, so that does rotate, but once again, the suit just doesn't give a whole lot. As far as the elbows, they are double jointed, and they'll go about that far. Now, that's the only kind of bad thing is the joint does sometimes pop out depending on where you have these sleeve positions. So depending on how much you want this joint showing, depends on how much movement you're going to get in those elbow joints. Now there is rotation here at the wrist, but unfortunately there is no pivot because of these wrists go all the way up the arm. They're not just at the wrist joint. Now as far as the abdomen, you can rotate just a little bit, not a whole lot there. Once again, you're just not getting a whole lot of play. You can actually go forward a fairly decent amount with that ab crunch, and then going back, not really a whole lot there. And then as far as the legs, this is where I feel like this figure really fails. So splits, that's about as far as you can get him. And that's like me putting a lot of pressure. I don't feel like it's going to rip, but yeah, definitely not giving a whole lot. There is a cut up here at the thigh, so that does rotate. And then this is probably where I think the posability is the weakest. That's about as far as he can go forward. You're getting a ton of play there in the pants, unfortunately. And then as far as kicking back, that's about it. So hardly anything at all. I really wouldn't even call that a kickback. The knees are double jointed, so you get a fairly decent amount of range of motion there. And then as far as the actual feet, unfortunately they have these little tops to the boots, so you really don't get a ton of range of motion, but you can go down about that far. Go up, not a bad amount. It does have ankle pivot, and it does rotate. And here is the Infinity War and Civil War Captain America side by side, and as you can tell, they're pretty much the exact same size and look fantastic next to one another, and here you can really see the differences between the suits. So that is going to do for my review of the Hot Toys movie masterpiece, Avengers Infinity War Captain America. Like I said throughout this review, I really love this figure. I love the suit, all the details that it has, the battle damage, the weapons that it comes for accessories. I think there are so many cool things going on with this figure, and I definitely feel like it looks different enough, especially like the battle damage and the darker colors and the textures, that it stands out from the Civil War Captain America. So if you're a Captain America collector, I definitely feel like this is a figure that you're going to want to have in your collection. It definitely stands out and doesn't look too similar to the Civil War one. That being said, there are some issues. Like I said, the face sculpt I think it's really good, but I don't know if it's necessarily the best one that Hot Toys has ever done. And as far as the posability, there are some definite limitations as far as the suit. So just keep that in mind when you're ordering this figure. But other than that, I absolutely love this guy. So once again, that is going to do it for me this evening. Thank you guys so much for checking out these videos. 2 in like 3 days. This is awesome. So happy to be back at it. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this figure. If you guys are planning on getting this figure, I'd love to hear from you guys. But other than that, I think that's going to do it. And I'll catch you guys later. See ya.